Happy Tuesday, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Strategies for Success with Tramika Craddock. I am Tramika Craddock, planner, consultant, coach, and if you would like more information about me or what I do, you're more than welcome to visit my website, tramikacraddock.com, and you can find all the information there. Okay, so for the next few episodes, I want to talk about the subject of motherhood. Yes, motherhood, parenting, etc. So I say the next few episodes, there's no way that we can go over all of it in one episode, not even two. So for the next couple episodes, we're going to be going over the subject of motherhood. And so I like looking up definitions of particular words. So I looked up the definition of motherhood, and it's the state of being a mother. So when I thought about that, I'm like, wow, there's so many states that you can be in when it comes to being a mother. For example, there's the joys of motherhood. There's, happiness. Sometimes, unfortunately, there's even depression. There are sacrifices that we make, sadness, but there's happiness. I don't know if I mentioned that one as well. And most times there are joys. I would say the biggest two, and I can say for me, are joys and sacrifices of being a mother. So you made a lot of sacrifices, but when you see those sacrifices pay off, then that's the joy of motherhood. And then I looked at it on another side as far as states of motherhood, how I can be in the area of a mother, but not necessarily be a mother where I carried the child for 9 months, if that makes sense. So I can be a godmother, I can be a grandmother, I can be an aunt, I can be a cousin, I can be a leader in my church or in my community where I take on the role of leadership or maybe parenting, even teachers. I say all the time that teachers co-parent with us, and you can become or you can come into the state of motherhood without not necessarily carrying a child for 9 months. There's adoption, and then there's foster care, things of that nature as well, where you're in a state of being a motherhood. So over the next couple episodes, I want to try to touch on some of that, or some of the bigger parts of that. When we talk about joys and sacrifices of motherhood, being a single mother. I know there's a lot of controversy right now. I talked about this a couple weeks ago on my Facebook page about being a housewife when it comes to being a mother, stay-at-home mother, stay-at-home mom. So hopefully I can get a few people on for the next couple episodes, and we can talk about some of these things, and they can share their experiences and maybe some tips and strategies on what we can do if we're in that particular state. If we're in a state of depression and we want to come out to be happy, if we're in a state of sadness and we want to come out to have joy, if we're in a state of being a single mother and we just need some additional tips and strategies, if we're even a stay-at-home mother and need some additional tips and strategies on how to balance that, those are some of the things I want to talk about over the next couple episodes, and hopefully I can get my best friend Sharita on. I know we share a lot back and forth for stay-at-home mothers. We share a lot back and forth on tips and strategies that we can do as being a mother. So again, some of the things that I want to talk about over the next few episodes. So we're going to call this episode today, we're going to call this Motherhood. And this could probably be like our part one. So, and I have two different groups. I have the She Networks, which is a free networking group that's on Facebook. And the SH&E stands for Strength, Health, and Empowerment. And we talk about different things like we're talking about today: motherhood, business, careers. We have meetups here in Atlanta. So that's one of the groups. And this particular year, we've dedicated it to connecting. That's one of my personal things for my year, is connecting with others so that we can grow our visions and reach our goals. So connecting with others. So every month we're connecting as a different part of a woman. So this particular month has been dedicated to connecting as mothers. And we have some dynamic speakers who have been sharing their, life experiences, encouraging us, giving us some tips and strategies. Diane Williams and Camille Watkins. If you ladies are listening, thank you so much for sharing in She Networks this month. And I mentioned that because we're talking about it there. So if you're not a part of that network, you definitely want to go ahead and get connected today. Or if you're part of the network and haven't looked in the group in a little while, you might want to go back and look over some of the videos and some of the statements that these ladies have shared. They have been very, very great. And then I also have the Wife-mom-preneur group, which is an exclusive membership group. It just costs a small fee just to be a part. And that's where we just take certain conversations past the surface and dig into them a little bit deeper so that we can be productive and reach our goals and things of that nature. So in the Wife-mom-preneur group, every month we have empowerment calls, and last month our empowerment call was about 10 things that every mother should know. Now, since I shared these already with my Wife-mom-preneur group first last month, I want to go ahead and go over some of those things today. So again, it's 10 things that every mother should know, and what I'll do is I'll go over the first 5 here today, and then hopefully I can get to the next 5 on the next episode. But if you are listening and you want to share from any of those states of being a mother, or you have questions for other mothers in the state where you're trying to reach. Again, if you're trying to reach a state of happiness, of joy, or if you are a single mother and you need more strategies and tips, you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever the case may be, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to submit those questions so to be answered on the episodes as well. And I'll make sure I make a separate post on Facebook for that. So that everyone knows that they can submit their questions or they're able to call in to share. So, getting back to this 10 things that every mother should know. Number 1, if you do your best, then you are a great mom, period. And I have to throw that period on the end because sometimes we allow self-doubt or what other people say to create doubt for us to not think that we are a good mom, because you see this person on Facebook or this person on Instagram and they traveling with their kid and they doing all that. Does not necessarily mean that they are a great mom. So just keep that in mind, that we shouldn't look at other people's situation, or we shouldn't allow other people to speak about our situation to create doubt. We shouldn't create self-doubt. And I think that's more of the area that I was in, creating self-doubt, like, oh, I should have did this better. I should have made a different decision. What I have to do is just ask for guidance to be led to be the best mother that I can be for my children. And I just have to trust that I'm making the right choices for them. Will I or will we experience failures? Yes, absolutely. We have multiple kids, so we can get it right the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth time. So absolutely, we're going to face some type of failures. But that does not mean that we can't recover or be redeemed from the failures, or it does not mean that our children can't either. I know that that's a hard pill to swallow when we're talking about we're trying to raise productive human beings, successful human beings to be a part of society. You know, you want them to be the best that they can be, and most times we may be striving for them to go beyond what we did, or we may see something in them that we're really trying to push out of them. But it does come with failures. But what I would say to any person who is an aspiring mom, or you're a mother to be, or you're already a mother, just to encourage you, is that if you're doing your very best, then you are a great mom, period. It doesn't matter what other people may say or think. Now, there's a thin line between knowing that I'm slacking in particular areas, and if we can just be real and transparent, knowing that I need to do better in that particular area. And yes, will get weary, and sometimes we will make mistakes, and we will come across failures. So I'm not talking about that. But when you just know deep down inside that I can be doing better as a mom, and you just don't do it, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we give our all, and we know that we're giving all that we can in a particular moment, or at a particular time, or for a particular situation, and when you're giving your best, then you are a great mom, period. And that's number 1. Number 2 is it's okay not to be a super mom. Oh my God, when I said that was a hard pill to swallow for me, I wanted to have the S on my chest at all times, when I'm asleep, when I'm woke, when we out at the grocery store, when we at school. Again, because we just want the best for our children. There's nothing wrong with that, but I believe society has created this stigma that we have to always wear this big S on our chest, and we have to always be a perfectionist when it comes to our children, and that's not true, because we would never be perfect. So we're always trying to reach this goal that doesn't even exist. So I think that we have to be careful that, yes, you do the best that you can for your child, but you don't put yourself in a dangerous place where you're not taking care of yourself, or you don't create this false sense of hope or these false goals for yourself as a mother. So it's okay not to be a super mom. Being the best you that you can be for your child is all that's required. That's all that your child needs, and that's why your child was sent to you. So being the best mother of Tramika Craddock, that's all that's required of me. So when they were sent to me, the Lord knew that I was just going to give my best, and if I gave my best, then I was going to help create a productive and successful human being that's going to be able to function in society. Number 3 is follow your motherly instincts. And I can't talk about how big that is. All of these I can go into more depth and have a full-fledged episode just on each one. Following your motherly instincts. So there's a feeling that we get deep down inside of us that says yes or no to particular situations and particular things, and we have to know when that feeling arises, and we have to be comfortable to follow that feeling. I know they always say a cliche, you'd rather be safe than sorry, and I would definitely rather be safe than sorry, but I try to be really in tuned to following my motherly instincts when it comes to my children. So, that instinct may say, yes, it's okay to put your child in this daycare. No, absolutely do not enroll them in this daycare. Or it may say, yes, it's okay for them to go to this place. Or no, it's not okay. Yes, it's okay for them to hang out with this child. No, not that particular child, because it might be a little something that's going on in that particular household that you don't want your child to be exposed to. So those different type of things. Yes, it's okay to move to this particular area. No, I shouldn't move to this particular area. Yes, it's okay to do this right now. No, I shouldn't, because my child can't go through that type of transition right now. So we have to be very, very careful to be in tune with our motherly instincts, and then not only be in tune, but to follow our motherly instincts. And with my Wife-mom-preneur members last month, I shared a story that I want to share briefly with you all. It was my husband. And when we were growing up back in Rochester, New York, there was a Boys and Girls Club, which most of you are probably familiar with. And they had like little parties and things like that on the weekend where the teenagers can go and hang out. So my husband, he got permission to go. So he probably had his outfit laid out, about to go meet a shorty, hanging with his homeboys, talking about what song they was going to go and dance for. He don't dance, so no, he didn't do that part. But to make a long story short, I believe it was right before or the day before, after he had got permission, his parents told him no. Like, we're feeling a little something. We're not really feeling it anymore. No, you can't go. So, he was excited and ready to go. And he was upset about it. And sometimes our children will get upset with us, but it's still important that we follow the motherly instinct. So what ended up happening after the party, it got shot up at the Boys and Girls Club. It got shot up at the Boys and Girls Club. Now, so imagine if he would have gone and gotten shot, or even worse, he could have died. That would be devastating. And imagine how you would feel as a mother if you have this instinct to say, okay, my child shouldn't go. But then you said, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Or, I told them that they could, they'll be okay. I'll just say this little extra prayer. And I'm not saying that prayer doesn't work, but we do still need to follow those motherly instincts. And imagine if something happens, and you didn't follow that instinct. So it's so important that we follow the motherly instincts. That's number 3. Number 4 is it's okay to seek help and support. And again, I can go in depth into these. This is so, so important. When we're trying to wear that big S on our chest, I think that oftentimes either we may be a single mother and saying, well, I'm just going to be independent. I can do this by myself. I don't need help from nobody, whether it's the baby father or whether it's the ex-husband, whether it's another family member, it's a neighbor or whoever. When the old cliche, it takes a village to raise a child. I really, really believe that. And I won't say we learned the hard way, but it was a little bit more difficult for myself and Terrell. And no, I'm not a single mom, but we have moved to 2 different states. We're originally from Rochester, New York. We moved to High Point, North Carolina, and then we're here now in Atlanta, Georgia. And when we first moved, there was no other family members or anybody that we knew that we can trust to keep our kids so that we could get a break. So I think that, well, let me just say this. I believe that it does take a village to raise a child. So it's important that we seek out help and support from others around us that we trust. So that may be a family member, that may be a community leader, that may be just another mom. I was on a phone call last night, and we were a mom was talking about how her and a few other moms, they're always helping each other out with their sons with the basketball team. So I think that is really important that we seek help. And again, when we're trying to wear that S in our chest, I think that society cause us to think that it's not a good thing, or we're not being a good mom, or we're not being a great mom if we need to reach out for help and support. And that's not true. We need it. Sometimes you need to have some me time. Again, like I stated before, you need to have some me time, some time to get away so that you can replenish yourself, so that you can take care of your children. So it's important that we do reach out. So think about those who are around you, who can help you get a break. I don't care if it's 30 minutes, an hour, enough time just for you to take a bubble bath. Think about who's around you, who you can reach out to for help and support. And I know for me, since I always say I'm a stay-at-home mom first before any business or anything of that nature, I think, or I've been made, society has made me believe at one point, I don't believe this anymore because I will take the help and support. Oh, you a stay-at-home mom, you have nothing else to do, you can do it all by yourself. That's not true. Or even when it comes to, I may do everything with my children, but I may need to hire a maid to come in sometimes quarterly or monthly or weekly, however needed, and help me keep my house clean. Especially as wives, we think, well, I'm the wife, I'm the mother of the house, I'm supposed to be able to do it. It depends on your schedule, what demands are on you. Now that's a thin line between some stuff you might just need to say no to. But if you have a full schedule and you can afford it, there's nothing wrong with bringing someone else in, a nanny, a couple times a month or either a couple times a year, whatever that looks like for your particular family or your particular household. There's nothing wrong with bringing help and support. So if you have a demanding schedule right now and you feel like it's overwhelming, I would definitely take a moment to sit down and think about how can I hire someone to do something, to take a task off my hand, or how can I bring someone in that can help me and support me with my children if I'm not already getting that help and support. And that's number 4. It's okay to seek help and support. Number 5, and this is the last one that I'm going to go over today, allow your children to make mistakes. So when we grew up, even as parents, as adults, we make mistakes, and what do we do from them? Or what should we do from them? We learn from them. So it's okay. I know as a mother, we always want to be there to catch them when they fall. I'm guilty of this too. Especially with my son, I'm trying to because he's the youngest out of all of them. So my husband is leave him alone. He okay. Stop taking up for him. He'll be all right. And I'm trying to really listen to him because that's the only way that he's going to grow up to be an independent parent, well, not even a parent, just an adult, period. Well, I say parent so he won't make the same mistakes that I'm making with him, trying to catch him at every fall. He needs to learn from us as parents that it's okay to allow your child to make mistakes, but even as an adult first, before he's a parent, right? So even as an adult, he's going to be able to make he's going to experience failures and make mistakes, and he has to know to learn from them, and that is not always going to be somebody there who's going to pick up the pieces or who is going to catch you every time you're about to fall. So that's very, very important because they learn and they grow from the mistakes. So again, I always talk about these thin lines. There's a thin line when you see your child walking into a door of devastation where you can just really talk some sense into them, depending on how old your child is. and you can pull them back from that particular fire. But then again, small things, certain things that you need to let them experience on their own, especially if we have cradled and rocked them for so long. And this is with my adults or late teen mothers. At some point we do have to allow them to make mistakes on their own so that they can learn and grow from them. So those are the 5 that I want to share today out of the 10 things every mother should know. Number 1, if you do your best, then you are a great mom, period. Number 2, it is okay not to be a super mom. It's okay not to be a super mom. Number 3, follow your motherly instincts. Number 4, it's okay to seek help and support. Number 5, allow your children to make mistakes. So those are the 5 that I have for you today. I do want to talk about one thing before I go today. I have some group coaching seminars that I want to tell you all about. And this is from my coaching side. I have these seminars that are available to you the last week of February to March. I'm going to pull up the specific dates now and go over those things with you. If you can bear with me one moment. I had them up, but of course, when your phone lock and all of that. So I'm actually on my tablet, so let me just pull these up here. I just want to look at the specific dates. I run these 4 times a year, so I want to make sure I don't make any mistakes on the dates. So this time for the group coaching seminars, I'm actually going to do a private Facebook session. Last time I did private Periscope, but more people have access to Facebook. So yes, you can do a private session where no one else is able to view these, but the people who I invite to this private session. So the first one is meal planning essentials, and that's learning basic meal planning tips and strategies, including snack prep. That's going to be offered February 28th from 7 to 7:40. Building a building a solid weekly schedule that was going to help you create an outline for your week to help you flow efficiently and be productive. That's going to be March 4th, which is a Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9:40 a.m. Planning for the second quarter of 2017. That's planning for your business or your personal life for the second quarter of 2017. That's also going to be March 4th from 11 a.m. to 11:40 a.m. You're more than welcome to go to my website, tramikacraddock.com/group coaching. You can find all the information there, more details. It is $30 per session. It is a virtual session, so you can be anywhere. You don't have to be here in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a $55 value. You receive the 40-minute session as well as all the slides from the session so that you can go back over these particular workshops on your own at any given time. So again, these are the winter group coaching seminars that I am offering right now. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If you are not a part of She Networks, like I mentioned before, you can find this particular networking group on Facebook, Strength, Health, and Empowerment. We're actually going to be connecting for business. That is our theme for next month, Connecting for Business. And we have our first meetup for 2017 is going to be March 18th of next month. So if you're not connected, go ahead and join that particular group. You will see the link in there to go ahead and get registered for that particular meetup. I'm very, very excited about that. And the last group that I have, the Wife-mom-preneur group, which again is wives, mothers, and entrepreneurs, or someone aspiring to one of those particular areas. And this is a more in-depth group where it's a smaller group. Again, there is it's an exclusive membership group. There is a lot of membership perks that come with that. You're more than welcome to go to my website or go to wife-mom-preneur.com to get more information about the cost as well as the perks that come with that. So if you're not connected with that group as well, I definitely suggest that you go ahead and get connected. So I want to do 2 more things before we go today. A new business alert. So I told you that sometimes I'll be giving new business alert. I have not looked into it in full details, but I see on Facebook the Man Cave. And from what I can see, and that's here in Atlanta, Georgia, so go Google the Man Cave, Atlanta, Georgia. For what I can see, it's a neat spot for little boys or teenage boys to go have their baby. I was going to say baby showers. I did not mean that. To have their birthday parties. It's a a venue for boys, just specifically for boys to have their birthday parties, and I guess men can go as well. So I thought that was so creative and that was so neat. So I want to put out that new business alert. So if you talk to them, let them know on Strategies for Success with Tramika Craddock that I did put them out this week for the new business alert, the man cave. So go ahead and Google that, and I'm gonna look into that. So some more myself. And I just thought that was really neat, really creative, because we have all this little stuff for girls. We have the nail salon, the hair salon, the doll store, all types of little stuff that little girls can go and do, and we don't have a lot of stuff for our young boys, and that's very, very important that they have their own things that they can partake in. So they usually end up at Chuck E. Cheese in the backyard, bowling, things of that nature. So I thought that was really cool. So go ahead and look that up. And that is all that I have for you all today. Oh, my tip of the week. My tip of the week is, let's see, what's my tip of the week? Let's do something with motherhood. My tip of the week is strive to be the best mother that you can be. Simple, right? So it can be complex, but it's so simple. So what I want you to do for this particular week, I want you to write down all the names of your children, write down the areas that they're doing very well in, write down the areas that they're not doing so well in. And then next to that, I want you to, in the areas that they're doing well, I want you, how can you help them be greater in those particular areas? And then on the other side where you wrote down the areas that they're not doing so well in, what can you do as a mother, the best you can do as a mother to help them to experience success in that area? So I hope that was good, and I hope that helps someone. The tip of the week is be the best mom that you can. So with that, we're going to write down the names of our children. We're going to see what we can help them be greater in and what we can help them to reach success in for the stuff that's not going so great right now. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Strategies for Success with Tramika Craddock. I pray that everyone has a productive rest of the week.